Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Wherever you are in the world today, I hope that you are doing great. I hope that all is pleasant for you. And most importantly, my friends, I hope that you are in good health. Once again, my friends, welcome to the Common Sense channel. On this channel, my friends, we get to talk about those things that people know, that people have thought about, but don't often have the time to discuss. These, my friends, are the things we discuss here on the Common Sense channel. So once again, my friends, welcome to the Common Sense channel. Today, I want you to imagine, for today's talk, I want you to imagine with me, because it's a Common Sense channel, say religious houses, organized religious houses, were legitimate businesses that had a CEO, that has a COO, that has a secretary, financial, HR, everything. Imagine that. Again, I want to rephrase or restate this. Imagine that organized religious houses were legitimate businesses, had a CEO, had a COO, had an HR, had everything that, as they want to call it, worldly organization has. Worldly, as if they don't live here. Imagine that, where each of the congregation or congregants can easily find a job. You don't need to go. So for example, if you are Methodist, you have your own corporation called organized religious houses. You want to call it church, you want to call it synagogue, you want to call it mosque, you want it, whatever you want to call it. Say each of them, these organized religious houses, can hire their own people. And not only that, my friend, they are selling bona fide, tangible product, not like the one they sell today to us. Heaven, hell. I don't know if they sell kindness. I don't know if they sell love. I don't know if they are selling prosperity. Sometimes they sell Satan, they sell God, they sell Jesus. But imagine they're selling really good product, like how Walmart does it, Amazon does it, Coca-Cola, whatever is out there. These people sell tangible product you can buy. And then these things are things that make your life better. Some of them make you feel good about yourself, like the automobile company. I want to give you this truth. So this will be aligned. This will also align with organized religious houses, if they were businesses, legitimate businesses, which I think they are, except they're not selling tangible products or product that you can feel and touch. This is guy. His name is Henry Ford. Everyone knows him. If you live in this country, you know that Henry Ford is or was the CEO, the engineer CEO of Ford, the Ford company, automobile company. His idea is the baseline for this video because he understood that in order for him to market his business, which is what organized religious houses do, they call it evangelizing. But evangelizing is marketing, because you go out, you tell people about who Jesus is, whatever you believe in. And then you also talk to those people to come visit your establishment, because now your establishment is going to be a factory, because that's what these organized religious houses are. They are factory for people who are seeking other alternatives that are not of this world. And I'm saying, I've been saying this forever, that all of the things that you're looking for are here. And these CEO of these organized religious houses, they know this thing. They know that there's no other place beyond the grave. Mm? I'm going to go back to Henry Ford. The early Egyptians, this is true story now. The early Egyptians, which were black people, they believed that there's a life after what they were living. And they took all the earthly belongings with them. Guess what? Only for the Europeans to come back some 1,000 years later and dug them out, which I think is a desecration of a grave. It's a crime. But that's what it did. And they're still doing it today. They call it archaeologists. They give themselves a title so they can be legitimate. But in other words, they are thieves. That's what they are. So let's go back to Henry Ford, which I think is the baseline for this video. Henry Ford understood one thing, that you had to market your business to the people that are working for you. Understand? The people that are working for you. What do I mean? The people that come to your organized religious houses. You understand? The people that fill up your pews, your churches, your mosques, your synagogues, whatever your temple, whatever you have out here, milking the people. Those people that come in there every Friday, every Saturday, every Sunday to worship. Those are your client. Those are your employees. You understand? So the best you can do is to market to them and employ them. So Henry Ford figured out that if I'm paying them well and tell them to buy my cars, they'll buy it. And then that way, they promote the car that way. So he paid them well. Not all of them will get paid well, but yeah, for the most part, that was the story. He paid them. Guess what? Because their lives were better, they bought his cars. That's what these organized religious houses need to do. Start to turn this thing. Turn the whole thing, my friends. Turn the churches, the mosques, the synagogue, the temple into business, legitimate businesses. So that way you're selling things, tangible things. I know you're selling things. There's no way you can have these people come to these places every given day in the week and not getting something in return. Some of them do. Some of them do for the most part. Some of them get even more than the others, which is not fair. Because if Jesus himself or the Prophet Muhammad or whoever is in the other religious group out there, Moses, because Moses was talking about the golden rule too. Do unto others as you have them do unto you. The Hindus, all these people, they have their own teachings on fairness. So if you have these religious houses, organized religious houses, masquerading as being fair, and yet you go into these places, they have hierarchies where they have the CEO, sometimes they call it general overseer, then they have the COO, the secretary. They have hierarchies. And then they have the board. This organized religion has boards. That's almost like a corporation. Like anything in our world today, like GM, like Nissan, like BMW, Mercedes-Benz. That's the same thing. You have a corporation right there. So I don't know why the government, why they're not registering these people as legitimate corporation. Their board is not like their boards are like our earthly organization out here. that are overseeing for transparency, corruption, and stuff like that. It's not like they're doing that. They are just there. These individual work with the CEO and they call it general overseer, GM, or general overseer. They work with them to milk these people. So it's not like a legitimate board, except if they're like really, really deep organized religious churches, mosques, and synagogues, and whatever out here, temples. But my argument is, if you are going to have these people on earth, give them tangibles. Because let me tell you, this place is hell. Look, you have some people that go to these places, these organized religious houses. When these people fall on hard times, right? They go there. They pay their taxes. I'm not going to say tithe offerings. No, they pay. They work there. Some of them work there. And I think if you go sit in any of these places, you are at work. You just don't know you are at work, my friends. And some of these people spend 2-3 hours in these places. Depends on where you're going. If you're in an African church, man, it's a whole day business. If you're in a white man church, maybe 1 or 2 hours. If you're in an African American black church, maybe some hours. It depends on where you find yourself in these places, or the temple, the Buddhist temple, the wherever, the Hindu, wherever you find yourself, you're there for some time. Because this God that they are selling to you requires your time outside of you. So I think if time is money, right? If time is precious, if time is essential, right? Then you should get paid for wasting your time in there. Because the last time I checked, God is not in a house, a temple, a building. A building does not comprehend the magnitude, or cannot fit the magnitude of the Most High, the Almighty. So the Almighty does not dwell in a temple. Remember when Jesus was dead, according to the scripture, Yeshua HaMashiach, when he gave his last breath, the veil of the temple was torn into pieces. What happened significantly meant that he was the spirit of the Most High was removed from the temple. This is why I told some of you on my channel that you don't understand the scripture. You don't understand symbolism of the scripture. So let's turn this thing into a legitimate business. I'm talking to you, government. These people have the same structure as your Walmart, your Sam's Club, your Lowe's, your Kroger, your BP gas station. They have the same structure. Why are they not legitimate business producing product? So again, let's imagine these people owning a legitimate factory or business. If they still want to keep what they're doing, that's fine. Because at some point, there are weak-minded people in our world that needs to be taught morality, that needs to be taught how to treat one another good, in which I think you don't need to teach anyone morality. The laws are already, that's why they have the laws. Don't you think when Musa was in the wilderness with the so-called people of God in the wilderness, which I think they were black people, because Moses himself was a black man, an African. If he was born in Africa, then he is an African, walking in the desert with Africans. You understand? So imagine if these people had a legitimate factory. So you can go to church Sunday. You can go to the mosque on Friday. You can go to the temple whatever day you have, or the synagogue whatever day you have to go there. I think it's on Friday too. And the rest of the week you work. They provide you jobs. Imagine how many people will be unemployed in this world. There won't be no unemployed people. There won't be. So that means you're going to work throughout the week. You can work Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. You can work throughout the week if you like. That way we will cut back on unemployment. The government won't really need to do anything. Government won't even exist. Because if organized religions are employing their own people, say Methodist, you go to Methodist church, Monday you start work at a factory that owns by Methodist churches. You go to Catholic church on Monday, the start of the week, or Sunday after church. You're working on Sunday anyway. So after church, you go to work. They have the huge factory. They're producing food products. They're producing clothing. Imagine. So you see how the whole system is. So these people are in cahoots with industrialists so they can keep you over there for a few hours so that when you come out, your mind is softened and then they're ready to pounce on you. They're ready to do the do on you. But let's imagine this. And I think that's why in some countries, look at places like China, and they call them atheists. They call them all sort of names. Look at countries where religion is not the main focus. It doesn't mean that these people don't know what morality is. How many times have you heard like you can say North Korea too, Vietnam. How many times you hear a Vietnamese person went and did something terrible to someone, or the Chinese or the Koreans, the South Koreans or the Japanese? No, these places, religion is not a key in their daily lives. Everybody works. You got to go to work because they believe that that's the only way you can live life to your full potential on this earth. Because the thing is, when you die, what do you leave? You can't leave religion to your children. That's not a tangible thing that you can leave to your children. Is it morality? Your children can go astray. Even these pseudo or super religious people, their children go astray. So I honestly think that we need to start to rethink about the role of religion, organized religion in our world. I'm not against anything that teaches morality. As long as benefiting the weak-minded people, that's fine. But do something tangible. You got preacher man, bishop, imam. It's not so much of Islam because you don't hear some of this dubious stuff about Islam. Because even the imam works. I know many imams that are business people, they work. Yes, it's true. The only person that don't work from the Christian denomination, maybe the rabbi in these synagogues, they have businesses too. They work. But if you're out here and you are religious leaders, organized religious leaders, and you're not working, find a job. Turn that church or mosque or synagogue or temple into a business producing products, real products. So on any given day of the week, you can hire at least 20 to 30 people, even if it's cleaning your temples, your synagogues, your churches, your cathedral. Pay them, man. That's the thing. Let's turn these places into business. They can go there on Sunday, Friday, Saturday and worship. And then on Monday, they go to work, working for you. That way, one person is not enriching themselves. One person is not benefiting on the behalf of the others. Because that's what it is. You see, some of these people have mansions, private jet. Africa is ridiculous in Africa. There's no way I can talk about this without mentioning Africa. I don't know much about South America and the Caribbean, but wherever these people are, it's the same MO, the same narratives. So the best they can do, turn this thing. Some of these organized religious houses or religious organizations, that's what I want to call them, they have legitimate businesses out there too, but they're not hiring the congregation. Imagine how much burden you will take from the government. You wouldn't even have politicians running around complaining. The CEO of these religious houses, church, mosques, synagogues, temple, they can also run for office too. They can be politician and CEO of their churches or the mosques or their temple or the synagogues. They can be CEO and politicians too, because that way they are legitimate businessmen and women. You understand? That's what I'm saying. I don't have nothing against you. I just want you to think about reality. We live in reality. Our world is reality. Any of you cannot tell me when you die, you know what happened next. You're not taking anything out of this place, my friend. Yes, you're not taking it into heaven because heaven is here. It's what you do here. The pleasurable things that you enjoy is your heaven. Whatever makes you happy, that's the definition of heaven. And if you can make that happen here, it's heaven here. You can also make hell happen here. If you're taking care, I'm not saying that you should take care of everyone, just take care of your congregations. If you're Catholic church, provide employment for them. Monday they're working, man, they're making money. They're not going to go look for a job outside where the heathen, the unbelievers are. That way they're not corruptible. That way they're in line with your ethics, your doctrine, your teachings, and principles. You see, so at the end of the day, I'm helping you. You understand? You see the Amish? Let's talk about the Amish. The Amish people don't go outside of their religious teachings. This is a clear example because they understand that they don't want the people to be corruptible. There is no way you can speak of things of the world as polluted, as sinful, as demonic, and you're indulging in it. No. See, that's the clear indications of how the Amish people, praises to them, live their lives. They practice what they preach. They stay right within the communities. They make the best furnitures, the best honeycomb, whatever. If you want the best tasty honeys, check the Amish. Best furnitures, check the Amish. They create employment within their communities. That's what I'm suggesting to you. You organize religion instead of milking these people and don't pay them anything. And when they fall on hard times, I know people that fall on hard times, and these people wouldn't even help them. Wouldn't even say, oh, you've been with us for 10, 20 years. Let's step in and help you with your rent. Let's step in and help you with your bills. They have to go places like other outside organizations that are also milking the government to help them with their electricity bills, their gas bill, and their light bills. Because you cannot step in to help them because one individual or a caliber or a cabal of individuals, that's the word I was trying to think about, are milking that entire organized religious houses. So they has to start to rethink. Be like the Amish. That's what they do. They create employment within their community, right? You can do the same. Create employment for your people. So that way they're not indulging in the things of the world. As you say, you say, be ye separated from the things of the world. See, that's why I say Jesus came to separate he came to set the captives free. Who are the captives? They're not talking about those that are going to hell. They're talking about those people that have been captivated, captured by people who means them no good. Their minds is what he was talking about, their thinking process, that they need to see reality. We live in reality, my friends. And realities are both hell and heaven. This place right here. If you're not living right, if you're not living good, and when I say right, I'm not talking about your ethics, your morals, your principles. No, that can be defined by people based on the perception of where they are, their realities, and what's happening in their lives. So that's what moralities are. So what I'm talking about, their mindset, the way they think, is those people, or are those people that are controlling that? They're telling them that there is something up there when there's absolutely nothing. Because the scripture never said that. Jesus, Yeshua HaMashiach, never said that there was a place up there. There's something up there. He said, I was going to my Father. He didn't say where the Father was. Even though he said heaven, but heaven is in you. That's why there's so much contradiction in the Bible, in the text, religious text, whether you're reading the Torah, the Bible, the Gita, whatever it is that you're reading out of these people. There's contradiction. Not these other people now. Because a Hindu, their own text and reading teachings are way different. The Buddhists, the religions of the Japanese, their own teachings are different. So it depends on what you're reading. But the two main culprits are these two, Islam and Christianity. They're like upfront with you. They tell you where you're going when you die. You ask them, do you believe, honestly believe that when you go, this is where you're going to be? They're so cunning in their deception that they tell you, they even draw a picture of what this place look like. They put that in movies too. So it's all about, it's a mind game. It's a mind game, my friend. So here's the thing. Government, I know you and organized religious people, you all work together. But I think at some point, just look at the structure. The structure, some of them 501c3 for you, so they don't have to pay taxes, so they can go tax-free. Start to get these people to register as a legitimate business. These organizations, organized religious houses, as a legitimate business. That way they're paying taxes to you. That's more money. I know you love taxes. As long as it's not accounted for, you love that. You know how much money you will make, Mr. Government, if these people are paying taxes. What I'm saying is they can run the churches or the mosques or the temple, the synagogues. They can run them. But let them open a factory right next to it, somewhere else. And then that way the people work. And it will be your choice now if you want to work a part-time there or full-time. Yeah, you work part-time, full-time, whatever it is that you're doing. Look, check this out. There won't be no homeless people on the street. None. There won't be no homeless people. Because if you can't find job at Walmart, at Kroger, at Sam's Club, or Lowe's, or General Motor, wherever is it out here, legitimate worldly businesses, you can easily go to your church, Methodist church. There's a job. Methodist, we can call it Methodist produce and supply chains. You can call it Catholic supply and industrial produce. You can call it that way. The clothing line of the Episcopalian establishment. Imagine how much jobs will be out in our world. Africans will never even travel because they have so many of them. Even the corner store churches, they'll be having their own small business on the side, employing their own people. So imagine how much job you produce. That's what happened in places like China, in places like North, South, East Korea. I would say that. In Japan, in other countries, in India. How do you think India deal with almost 1 billion? I think it's 1 billion people. Because they produce jobs. You can go pray to the temple for 5 minutes. You do whatever you need to do. Light your candle. You bow down to whatever. You go to work. You don't need to spend 3, 4. Some of these places you go there, you're there the whole day. Some of them you're there for hours doing nothing. As if God have enough time, the Almighty, have enough time to sit there and listen to all of your miseries when you can be solving these problems here. That's why you got a brain to think, to figure out ways to solve your physical problems. No one is solving them for you. No one but yourself, but you. And stop blaming Satan. Satan doesn't exist. Understand? God doesn't exist. God is you. You are God. Satan is you. You are Satan. None of these things exist, but the Almighty, the Creator, does. Yes, it is. And it's not a man. You cannot attribute human characteristics to the Almighty. It's impossible. That's who I talk of. That's who I have reverence for, because I know this entity, spirit, exists in us, nowhere else, in us, dwell in us. This is what Jesus came to teach, to free the people from the captors into their own realities. So as I've always said on my channel, I want to thank all those people that watches my video, especially those that shares my videos. My intention is to teach. I don't have anything against anyone, but to teach. You understand? And I know it's the truth. And I just want a world where everyone is doing great. That's all I want. Just like Jesus, I want Yeshua HaMashiach. Stop oppressing people. Let them free. Give them free. Give them free of mind. Let their mind be emancipated. Because once you program them that way, you're setting them up for abuse. It's what you're doing. Let people live, because it's on one life, only one life to live. We're talking of generation of people that are enslavement to organized religious teachings and doctrine that has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the Almighty. Nothing. And they know it. And they know it's the truth. I want them to be a legitimate business that are producing tangible products for our world to enjoy. Be like the Amish. Produce employment for your people, your congregant, so that they're not part of the world, but instead part of you. That's what I'm saying. So I want to thank everyone that watched my videos. As I've always said again, the greatest thing that could ever happen to you is not the day you're born, not the day you had your first car, the day you graduated from high school, the day you became a lawyer, doctor, none of that stuff. The greatest thing that could ever happen to you, my friends, is the day you discover yourself. Because from that day on, everything, my friends, absolutely everything, will start to make sense to you, which is what we are. We are rational beings. We are genetically wired to know what's right or wrong. We don't need religion, organized religion, to tell us who we are about spirituality or teach us anything. If that wasn't the case, Musa, would have never, in fact, Moses wasn't the first person that came out with laws. King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon came out with the golden rule. And the golden rule is my standard rule. And if you practice the golden rule, you, my friends, will never harm anyone. You understand? People who don't believe in religion, people who are not subscribed to organized religion, these are the most decent human beings on the planet. They are. You demonize and you talk all terrible things of them. But they are the decent human beings. Because what they want is all human beings to be free of organized religion. Organized religion, if they're going to coexist with humanity, they must be part of the industries of humanity. They must produce tangible things that we can feel and touch and enjoy on this earth. Thank you. I hope that you are doing great. I hope that all is pleasant for you. And most importantly, my friends, I hope that you are in good health. Have a blessed and pleasant day. Thank you.